Scarf. Will Carey, come on up here. Give it up for Will Carey. God damn it.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you so much. I'll make everyone feel better about their breakups with the most pathetic girl story that's ever been told. It's January of 2009, and I'm at a cheesecake factory with this feminist performance artist that I've been secretly in love with for 2 years, and I've decided that tonight is the night that I'm going to tell her that I'm hopelessly in love with her because she just saw me do a comedy show, and comedy and feminists get together really well. But before I could do that, she had asked me if she thought she unintentionally revealed to me that my best friend had asked her out the previous month and did it behind my back. And I found this out because she asked me if I thought that she should call him and tell him that she's not interested. And I didn't say anything in that moment, but I drove back to my apartment that I was sharing with said best friend at the time, and had a great argument over a Kevin Hart special that was on TV. And I basically said, you betrayed me, why you know that I have all these feelings and have these problems expressing them. And he said, well, you didn't say how you felt, so I had to go behind your back. Still don't get the logic of this. He then proceeds to yell and scream at me, and we live, and storm off, and we live in silence for several weeks to months after that. But what was eating at me is that I never got to express how I really felt to this girl, to her. So I had to think, how could I still do this, because I need to get this off my chest. I know I'm gonna write a song. That will make her love me. So that's what I did. I sat down with my Fender Telecaster that I plugged into my laptop and started to think of the perfect song to express my undying love for this woman. And I'm trying to think of some lyrics as I play what I later learned were the same chords of Oasis's Wonderwall, just in a different key. But those are the 4 chords that are going to get done in this situation. And I'm trying to think of a lyric I'm trying to think of lyrics, and I'm playing along, and then the line that comes to me is, if I knew more about music theory, I would write you a symphony. At the time, I thought John Lennon's ghost had whispered this to me. I was like, no way, this isn't gonna work. So I wrote more incredibly sappy lines like that, and then, and this is the really embarrassing part, but I gotta share it. Afterwards, I recorded part of the speech from When Harry Met Sally, and put that at the end of the song. And the entire time, I kept thinking, this is a great idea. No way this doesn't work. And then I burned it onto a CD and wrote a 3-page letter and just showed up at her house one day. She didn't know I was coming, and I said, hey, that's for you. Talk to you later. I walked back to my apartment, and 2 weeks went by. I didn't hear anything. My birthday passed, another week went by, and I hadn't heard anything. Now, at this point in my life, if I hadn't heard anything from a woman in 3 weeks, I would go, okay, time to move on. But I didn't think like that at the time. So I was sort of like, it was like my hope was like a childhood pet that I refused to accept was dead. And I was just holding the childhood pet. Or like still feeding my dead fish. Any day now. Okay. And then I got a message from her on Facebook that said, I appreciate your efforts. And the honesty that you've come to with me, but I can't reciprocate it. I read that message at 7 a.m. in the morning, and then I had to immediately put on my red shirt and name tag and go sell electronics at Target, where everybody's music selections veer to the side of The Cure. And it took me about like 7 months of going to therapy to cope with it, because I had no real tragedies at that time, and therapy was what was keeping me from Jackson Pollocking my brains onto a wall. And if you've never been to therapy, therapy is like going to a strip club, except it doesn't have the part that actually helps. I'm thankful for the experience now, because that was when I learned that you can't like force someone to love you. Because writing a song for a girl is like basically sending her a dick pic with your heart. The coda to this whole story is that about 3 months after this, I just carried all this emotional angst and sadness into a audition I had for a short film, and I was able to get the part, and that short film played at the Cannes Film Festival, and I got to spend a week and a half in the south of France in May. I'd recommend it. And then and I've traveled a lot. I've traveled a lot since then. That sort of like was the inspiration for me to start traveling more. And I actually, the girlfriend I'm with now is actually a very, very avid traveler. And I'm turning 30 next year. And for my birthday, we're going to be in Tokyo at a robot fighting show. So I won. Thank you, I'm Will Carey.
Will Carey.